so we might as well use the time. Exactly.
Then we'll decorate it up.
Okay, yeah. Oh, it smells lovely here, doesn't it? The smell of the side.
Yeah. Good on you, Ado. He's a great helper.
Oh, you're fantastic.
I just roll, yeah. That's
It's cold. You wouldn't want to be any more than 2 hours, really, would you?
Oh, that's beautiful. Well done, mister.
Good job, Ma.
I've set my intention for this year and beyond, and I hope everything comes through as I wish. Thank you.
How's that? Number 9.
Just stuff or what?
No, we wouldn't would. Here. Very nice. Oh,
I got a big one.
Gotcha.
Me?
I'm still seeing it. Solitary rush.
Lose it.
It is, isn't it?
Mom,
3 o'clock again.
Mom, look at my rocket.
Do you take the top one, or does it matter from the 9 o'clock?
No.
Like, so let's say I've that here.
So forget, we're going 3 o'clock and then 6 o'clock. Go down
Right.
south.
No.
So wrap that under now, towards 3.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I get you.
And then go south again towards
Could
6.
you fold it up for me?
I'll steady there.
So, okay.
Mommy, I done this.
Well done, Aidan. Arclina.
So we got another one. So under again.
Mommy, look.
Yeah.
Daddy,
Wrap
take
it
that
under
top off
towards
for me.
3 o'clock.
Here, Mommy. Take it.
Give it to Daddy there, Pet.
We roll it
Long
through.
here at the top.
We can actually snip them at the end because
And the scissors there if you want to.
and then down towards 6 o'clock again.
Yeah, it's
So you get the hang of it
I'm not
after a
good
few
either
rounds.
there. Yeah.
It's simple, you know.
And have idea and take everything.
Yeah. Nice one.
I found it looks like that.
Oh, just some lie, ha ha.
Yeah.
The 3rd of February. It's also called Law Ale of Brigid, which is the feast day of St Brigid. And it signifies hope and the start of spring. So our Brigid herself, the Celtic goddess, she can be aligned with the Roman goddess Minerva, the Greek goddess Athena, and also the Celtic goddess as well, Danu. And they would all stand for wisdom, arts, trades, strategies. She's a fantastic deity to have come, you know, from our old kind of Irish kind of Celtic culture, because she was, she showed real kind of modern woman virtues. She was, she excelled in leadership, organisation, yeah, so she was a healer, poetry, smithcraft. There was a whole list of things between looking up the goddess Brigid, between looking up the St Brigid. This is just a short list of the stuff that I came across. Hospitality, the heart, fertility, healing with herbs, patron saint of midwifery, childbirth. Again, she's another threshold or transformative deity. Smithcraft, spring, livestock, arts, crafts. Sacred wells, of course, you know, there's plenty of them in Ireland. They're they're peppered all over the countryside. And water, of course, is a source of inspiration, source of wisdom and healing. Homes and hearts, high dimensions, hills, Knockfrieda. There's a couple of Knockfrieda all over the country. So anything that's to do with an elevated state, be it, you know, topographical, or be it, you know, the arts and wisdom and things like that. She's a patron saint of the embarrassed. Everyone seems to like that one. Abundance, of course, you know, I suppose to do with fertility, and also in many of the stories to do with St Brigid, which would have come from, you know, our Celtic goddess Brigid. She multiplied things, and there's lots of stories about her. She drove her parents mad and her owners mad. She was born into slavery by stealing stuff and giving it to the poor. But you know, so there's been stories that she stole all of the butter from her mother's store. But yes, she prayed and it was all replenished again. Bacon, milk, that come up. The weather, she's very synonymous with the weather as well. Like Imbolc is the threshold between winter and the oncoming of spring. And unity, which is a really nice one. And because it's such a community event, a lot of the rituals to do with St Brigid that sometimes they're still carried out in places here, but they would have died out a lot over the last 50, 60, 70 years. They brought the community together like today, you know, but I'll do it kind of chronologically as such. So we'll go from like the Celtic goddess into the Catholic saint, if that's okay. Yeah, one of the traditions that I came across was on Brigid's Eve, which is the 31st of January, people would leave a hanky outside their house. And the story goes as St Brigid passing through the night would bless this hanky. It was brought in again for protection and healing during the year, and if you had a headache it would be laid on your head. And of course, the Brigid's cross. Apparently St Brigid was spent the last few days of a pagan chieftain's life beside his bed. And as she was sitting there just waiting it out with him, she picked up rushes from the ground and would you grab one of the crosses there? And she fashioned the rushes into this shape, which is the Brigid's cross, as we all know. And the pagan chieftain asked her what was she doing, and he said, and she told him the story of Jesus. Now we're on to obviously the Catholic saint here. Told him the story of Jesus, and apparently he became a Christian before he died. And lo and behold, she saved him! And so that's where the St Brigid's cross comes from. Yeah, so people, you know, people hang it over the door, the main door they use into their house. Years ago they used to leave it under the eaves. And again, protection, protection.
Protection against fire.
Yes, fire, that's right. Protects the home from fire, yeah, that's right. Thanks. Oh yeah, just a few interesting facts at the end. And then her ever-living fire, I really love this story. So she's associated again with pagan gods and Roman and Greek gods, all that are affiliated with fires and things like that. And of course back then fires, you know, would have been so necessary for heat and cooking, and you know, matches and lighters or whatever weren't a dime a dozen. So they kept this perpetual flame going, this eternal flame. So historians reckon that there was ritual fires for ceremonies on the hill of Kildare as well, in the pre-Christian area. But the Brigidines, there was a perpetual light of St Brigid up until the Reformation times that was constantly manned, and or womaned, I should say. And in the Reformation times it was put out, and these Brigidine sisters came back in 1992 and they set up Solas Frieda in Kildare, and they decided to start this again, and it's still going up there in Kildare, and it's for fire for the poor, the traveller, day and night, and apparently special properties of protection. Years ago they were saying like only religious women could tend to the fire. If a man came near it, there's all these kind of stories that one man, it was surrounded, it was kind of hedged off by a load of twigs and sticks like a fence, and apparently one man put his foot in it, was pulled back, and sure the leg withered and fell off. And there was, what was the other one? Oh, an archer, I don't know, went in, took a notion, went in and breathed on it, and then he went round to people, he went mad and was breathing everybody, going, oh, this is the breath of breed, and he was going up to everybody, and then they were like, oh, he's gone mad, he's dehydrated, we're trying to give him a drink of water, and they couldn't rehydrate him, and he died! Yeah, so, but,
You need protection here today.
yeah, exactly. And then this is the last little one. This is the Brie joke, which is the little dolly made of rushes. Sorry, that's my... Noreen's. I have to credit my neighbour with this. Actually, I credit her completely with this.
Don't they?
It's like a threshold, right, where it brought communities together. So the doll was welcomed on the 31st of January to bless the family and the harvest, and it was carried from house to house. And in some communities, the entire community would go from house to house, and they would dress up. Sometimes have a little girl dress up as Brie herself. Sometimes a man would dress up as Brie, and they'd call him a biddy, and he'd wear one of those, what do you call those? I had it written down there. The tall wicker headdress. You know, kind of reminds me of the red. Yeah.
Like the mummers.
And then the thing was that as the community approached the next house, they'd say, the lady approaches, St Brigid approaches, and then when you were receiving it into your house, you'd say, she is welcome, she is welcome. And then songs were sung, and then in other, I think it said Donegal, they must be awful dry in Donegal. Apparently it was less formal, I hope there's no Donegal there. And it was just carried. No. And there was also a thing where it's St Brigid's bed. You make a little bed of rushes within in the house, and you might put the Brie joke into it, or you might not. And apparently, you know, if the rushes then were tied in the morning, St Brigid had come, or people used to rake ashes straight, you know, have them level going to bed, and if they woke up in the morning, if they were interfered with, St Brigid would come and bless the house, and they were sorted for the year. No fire. And, oh yes, Pat.
Remember when he died?
Who?
The guy when he said he died.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's the same name association, the feast day, as the Celtic goddess Bridget. Some scholars suggest she's a Christianization of the goddess. Others say she's a real person who took on the goddess's attributes. Professor Dahi O'Hogan said a saint was the chief druidess at this temple of Good Bridget, responsible for converting it to Christian monastery. And after her death of 524, the name and characteristics became attached to the saint. There's loads of places in Ireland: Kilbride, Kilbredy, Knockbridge, Knockbride. There's lots of plants associated with her: the Madonna lily, the windflower, which is called Bridget's anemone. Caroline, anemone.
An enemy.
An enemy.
Yeah. And she was just pretty amazing. I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff to do with Bridget and feminism and things like that. And she was very forward thinking. She was very wise, leadership, organisation, and a real kind of a maternal figure. So yay to St Brigid.
Hey! Thank you, Catherine. Yeah? Miriam has a song, yeah? Brilliant. So we'll have a song.
It's just one that we teach the kids in school.
Brilliant.
So it's pretty easy. And I brought a few copies in case.
So we'll have a few singers, will we?
Yeah, we'll all do it.
Probably know it for about 14 years.
She'll lose it.
Sing a song to Bridget. Bridget brings the spring, awakens all the fields and the flowers, and calls the birds to sing. All were welcome at her door, no one was turned away. She loved the poor, the sick, and the sore. She helped them on their way. We sing a song to Bridget. Sorry, back to the start. Bridget brings the spring, awakens all the fields and the flowers, and calls the birds to sing. She laid her cloak out on the ground, blessings flow. And back to the start. We sing a song to Bridget. Bridget brings the spring, awakens all the fields and the flowers, and calls the birds to sing. So are you ready? Now.
Woo! Thank you very much, everybody, for making today a really lovely day, and thanks for everyone that put all the effort into everything and getting it together, and Debbie for gathering all the material during the week.
Honored to be here.
It was really beautiful. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it.